Welcome to the bold analysis. 4 people shot in Emali, a police Land Cruiser set on fire, scores of injuries from protests as police engage in running battles. What triggered, what rattled the Lower Eastern? Mlolongo is partly Nairobi, is the junction of Nairobi and Machakos. And Emali is also part of the Lower Eastern. Somewhere in the midday, Pauline Njoroge raised some alarm, and she actually said that she received a distress call from a nurse in Machakos who was saying that she's received 8 bodies with gunshots, suffering gun wounds, and also some 2 or 3 people, I think some 2 people that had been shot dead, and that was by midday. So it is also in Mlolongo where police engaged with the youths in some running battles. Emali and Mlolongo, bit of bad part of the Lower Eastern, was never expected because it has been relatively silent. The other time when Kalonzo Musyoka led the protest there, Kalonzo was in Gadhiani and even went and sat on a podium, and Kenyans were asking, what? Is that really a protest? You know, people are asking. I realize people trivializing Kalonzo Musyoka on that ground. Now, what I'm also another reason I'm paying attention to it is, just yesterday, William Ruto was in that area. And I think the day before yesterday, and they were there with Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti, with Wavinya Ndeti coming out to praise William Ruto for how they've been supported in the industrial aggregation parks and construction of some boreholes and some projects, how their working relationship with William Ruto had helped the county. So, and I believe, I think Ruto was there, I think in Kitengela, and they addressed some roadside rallies with Wavinya Ndeti. So me thinks that the Lower Eastern is not as really shocked some of us. Look at Kalonzo Musyoka was no longer, today he was not in the picture. I don't know where he was, by the way. Raila gave a presser in Nairobi. Raila was alone. Martha Karua, Peter Munya, and Jeremiah Kioni were in Meru. Nderitu Murithi was again arrested again today in, probably there was like Laikipia, leading some protests. And Oparanya, Wajakoya, and Eugene Wamalwa were in the Western Belt, and they were in Busia. So you can see Mombasa there was no one. I think Kisii there was no one. But then the Nairobi team also did not come out. I also realized that the Nairobi team did not come out. They were expected to move to attend the rally in Kamkunji, but that rally was actually cancelled last minute. So I've tried to narrow down to the Lower Eastern explosion. Kindly subscribe to our channel as we finish this fundraiser. We are supporting that support for this lady here. She suffered. She was diagnosed with acute leukemia, lymphatic leukemia. But after 1 year, after we supported her out of hospital, called Sarah, she passed on 26th. And by the way, the burial is on this weekend on Saturday, and we are just reaching out to us as Bold family. We've been around Sarah for quite so long. And of course, we had to hang around. And I want to say a very big thank you for those who have supported it all through. Yes, we're just finishing up. For those who had reached out, we were just trying to wrap it up. Now, what exactly is the reason behind the explosion in the Lower Eastern? Why Emali? Let me tell you. The entry of the drivers' strike, the entry of the transport sector players in this protest was a game changer. It was a game changer because today there were protests by some nurses association. There was a protest by some border association. There are also some protests also organized by the drivers association. Now, what I realized, and I'm telling you, the ghosts conspire, there is some conspiracy theory against William Ruto power here. The drivers have been complaining about the compulsory retake courses that they're taking by NTSA. And I think when they issued that notice strike, that compulsory retest was actually stopped by Waziri Murkomen, and he said that it will resume somewhere in September or so. I've always believed that test, even if you're taking a driver back to some theory class and paying some 1,500 something, what's the effectiveness? You are not taking this gentleman back to the training. Even after coming to class to retake those theories, which the theories are not bad. But some of these fellow just funza driving here and there, kidogo, then they got the cars and they started driving. How that retake course was going to bring sanity in the roads is a miracle that even me did not understand. And from my point of view, what even the drivers were complaining about is that they were being forced to take it, and it was employed by government to get some money. It was applied by government to get some money from the transport sector players. Now, why Emali? Emali is a business center, and it's also a place where drivers park, especially the long distance drivers, the matatus, the lorries, the light trucks. That's where they park. So when the transport sector players joined the strike, transport was paralyzed. So even if people are not coming out of the street, but the transport is already paralyzed. Now you're already planning a strike, and drivers are planning a strike, and things are paralyzed. Then they take that advantage. So that's one thing that I've also realized. It really caused a lot of problems, because that route is an exit route for goods coming from Mombasa. And when they reach Emali there, it is a place where things seems to have been happening. And I think the Lower Eastern has largely been seen as people who are not aggressive, people who don't come out. But today, they seems to have really got it different. Now, number two, Kalonzo Musyoka for quite so long have been complaining and asking his support base that, why don't you guys be brave as the other tribes? Why don't you guys be brave like Luos, Luyas, Kisis, and other tribes? Why don't you guys be brave? He's been asking those questions. I think they might have been that William Ruto's network in the Lower Eastern is very weak. And the Kalonzo Musyoka side successfully mobilized. It's very true. It's possible that they mobilized. So it is a bit of a catch-up plan to make sure that they get that visibility. But lastly, I want to say this. The young people you are seeing in the streets, I think someone tell the president, the young men and women you are seeing in those streets, they are there because there is no alternative. Take this to bank. If you sample video clips, how many teachers are you seeing there? Employed teachers are you seeing there? None. Are you seeing any nurse there? None. Are you seeing quite employed people in there? No, none. Why? Not that they are comfortable with the way things are, but because they have some small engagement that is keeping them busy. Now, the young people you are seeing in the streets, the young people that are going there and the police are shooting carelessly, those young people are jobless. William Ruto. Even those people who, are rally on midweek, Wednesday, and the stadium is full, and they want to masquerade saying that people are mobilized to come, if a stadium is full on Wednesday, midweek, a working day, what does that tell you? It tells you that people are jobless. The reason why Kenyans are out is about jobless, is about the unemployment. That is why in my yesterday's podcast, I said something, that we need to look at joblessness. We need to find a way to define the cost of living. you should not simplistically take it very simplistic as the high cost of living is because people don't have jobs, or not people don't, like the price of the inflation. The inflation is concurrent with lack of jobs. The young people there do not have even food. I was talking this evening to a gentleman, and I believe the law says the protest should end at 6. Where I stay, not very far from my place, along Manyanja Road, people who know don't know. From 7, there were tear gas and bonfires lit, and you could not move there. For you to move that road, you had to carry a stone. That is the only license for you to move. And people are protesting still late as 7. So when I was having a discussion with the guy who was driving us, and I was like, why do you think these people are protesting? He told me, Kevin, these people have protested during the day. The reason why they're protesting at night is because they will loot. So why will they loot? They loot because they're also hungry. These people don't have food. They have protested the whole day. There is nowhere to hide. They don't have food. They want to protest here. If you joke, they will rob you. So we are also into a very difficult season. There is something I do not want to analyze, but I just want to point it out. There is a photo that is trending in about some clashes starting between, I think, around Sondo, where some young people were seen with arrows. And of course, there are people that with injuries that have been that have been transferred to Jaramogi Oginga Hospital in Kisumu with arrow wounds. I think the cost of living question is not a fight between Raila and William Ruto. If there's protest, if someone wants to stupidly, for lack of a better word, think that this is Raila-Ruto contest, you're getting it wrong. That's not what it is. We should actually remain focused. And when a solution is found, if there is going to be a policy direction after this, that policy direction will not be targeting only 2 people. That policy direction will target both of you. So I think let's leave leaders do what they can do and be peaceful. I've always loved Nairobi. By the way, I love Nairobi. There was a protest on Wednesday. Tomorrow, go to town. You will realize everyone is going on with his job. Kama ni mtu mkokoteni, amerudi mkokoteni. The mama mboga, amerudi mama mboga. Everyone is back to his business. That is what it is. That the difference between Kenya Kwanza and those Azimio in Azimio is a difference of what is not going on right. But I don't think we should narrow and shallowly think of tribal clashes. I think we are way above that. We have our lessons of 2007 and we cannot go there. So there is no way we can entertain such kindly. Thank you guys. Let's meet in the next.